Welcome to Pennsylvania, or as we've recently been calling it, the Arctic Circle South. Yes, 2 degrees is what you see on there, 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Corey. This is the Hill Custom Lumber YouTube channel. So it's been a few weeks since I made a video, and I figured I'd pick up the camera today. It's a Friday. I'm wrapping up a bunch of jobs and have a little bit of free time. Figured I'd show you some of the struggles we've been dealing with this week. It has been one of the toughest weeks I've had in a long time. We had 15 inches of snow Sunday into Monday, and spent most of Monday plowing. I've got piles of snow literally everywhere just to try to keep things moving around here. And we have not gone above freezing in probably 2 weeks. It's brutal, absolutely brutal. In fact, I didn't wear gloves out here, so I'm going to step back inside. And I've been trying to keep things moving because I have a lot of orders and pretty tight schedule, but I've been fighting it all week. We've been having highs in the teens, lows 0, negative temperatures. As you just saw on that thermometer, it's 2 degrees right now at 8:30 in the morning. So everything has kind of slowed to a crawl, but I'm trying to keep things moving. Did about 1,200 feet of paneling this week and sawed a few logs, but I'll tell you what, the sawmill has pretty much ground to a halt. I don't know how you Canadian guys do it. I know I have some Canadian viewers. I don't know how you keep the sawmill and the outdoor stuff going at these temperatures. It just seems like everything is a fight. Everything just takes some pre-planning, preheating. My loader gelled up on me the other day. Just even dumb stuff, like it's a little bit low on hydraulic fluid. So I had to pick this up this morning because I didn't want it to sit in my truck all night if I picked it up on my way home and pour molasses into the hydraulic tank. So just everything takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of planning, but we're getting through it, trying to keep things moving. But I'm ready for a warm-up, and I'll tell you what, when it goes above 32, it's going to feel like summer around here. So this heated part of my shop has been a godsend just for, keeping equipment warm and giving me a place to hide out a little bit. But actually what I wanted to show you guys today, once I get this thing up and running and out of here, we're going up to the shop. And I'm doing something I've done plenty of times, but I'm doing it a new way. So we'll get things rolling here and try to get everything started and moving. And I'll take you up there and show you what I'm working on. Oh, it pains me to do this. I hate having to open these doors up and let all that cold air rush in, but it's the only way that thing's getting out is to open these doors, so I try to do it as quick as possible. So I gotta put my pickup in that building we were just in, and well, I've been hauling around this snow all week, which actually isn't terrible because it gives you some weight on the rear end, helps with traction, but I don't really see the sense of hauling a giant ice cube into a heated shop. Plus I gotta haul a pallet tomorrow, so it's gotta come out anyway. So guess I better do some more shoveling. Seems to be the theme of the week. Done quite a bit of shoveling. Well, that's good enough, and it worked out because I just don't have enough snow piled up back there, so that helped that out. I'm gonna get this in the shop. So I had about a 6-foot snow drift in front of this door that came off of my roof here that I had to shovel out to get myself in here. So I know this shocks everybody when I say this, but I don't have heat in this building where I do the majority of the millwork. And I know everybody says, well, why don't you have heat in here? Well, number one, this is an old goat barn that would just be pretty much impossible to heat. And number two, I'd have to totally revamp my dust collection system and put on an airlock so the dust collection doesn't just suck the heat out in the first 30 seconds it's on. That's expensive. And to be quite honest with you, I've just never felt it was worth trying to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to heat this. It's usually not that big a deal. You just put on more layers, tough it out. I don't actually store wood in here. I basically bring it up, run it, put it back in one of the other buildings till it goes down the road. So it just hasn't been a situation where I needed to heat it. Now this week, I wish I had heat in here. But let me show you 2 hacks I've used to make it bearable. So probably the number one thing that helps me out here is the infrared heater. I have this one on a tripod, and I have one over underneath my above my radial arm saw that cast down over my head and shoulders. And these things, if you're not familiar, they just cast heat, and they basically heat up an object. Instead of heating the air, they heat whatever they shine on. It's kind of like a rotisserie chicken heater thing at the grocery store. These are great because one of the most miserable jobs is setting up the molder. This stuff is 2 degrees right now, and you can't really wear gloves to do it because it's just too tedious, and that is a miserable job. You can do it for a couple minutes, then you gotta stop, take a break, warm your hands up. It's not fun. So what I have learned over the years, I'll let this cast in here a couple minutes. It'll kind of warm this stuff up. I set my gloves here, so when I put my gloves on, they're nice and toasty, and it just makes life so much nicer. One thing I will tell you, pro tip, don't set your phone there. I did that last week, and I thought I melted an iPhone. It gets really hot if it's just in constant contact. So infrared heaters, highly recommend them. They warm up an object instead of the air, which in this building is key. The other thing that I have not used in here until this week, because I've just never had the need, but it sure helps a lot. This is my little space heater here. That's just a Lowe's special, a Craftsman. The nice thing about that is it burns diesel, and I have a 300-gallon diesel tank here, so I always have diesel on hand. I have a propane heater, but that's a nuisance. You always have to be chasing after the propane. So this is really nice for taking the chill off a building quick, and I didn't turn it on until now because it's loud. I wanted you guys to hear me, but that will at least bring it up here close to freezing, which is plenty warm enough for me. And honestly, it's just all the little dumb things I've been fighting that kind of aggravate you. Like yesterday, I went to rip some boards on the straight line rip saw, and it was too cold for my laser. So I had to take that little infrared tripod I just showed you and shine it on the laser until it warmed up enough that I could get a laser line. And just all those little things just take time and effort, and for really no gain. So what I'm actually working on today, we're doing stair treads. I have to do 30 stair treads. I've done plenty of stair treads in the past, but I always run them on the shaper to get the bullnose front edge. Well, this was a big enough order, and I have to do some 8-foot lengths. And I thought, well, I could do them on the shaper, but that's quite a bit to do on the shaper freehand, and I've always wanted to try it on the molder, so this job was big enough to justify buying the molding knives. So I'm going to set up the molder to do the stair treads. So it'll plane the top, the bottom, the back side will plane smooth, and then it'll put that nice bull nose on the front, and I think it's going to do a really nice job. I think it's going to make my life easier rather than trying to do 30 treads freehand, particularly the long ones, because working alone here today, doing 8-foot treads, you got to hold it just perfect on the shaper, or else you get, your cut doesn't come out clean and true. So the molder should make that much easier. So I'm going to get this set up for that. My treads are next door in the shop that does have heat, because I do all my glue ups and assembly and that stuff next door. You guys have been over there before, smaller shop, but it does have heat that I can do that kind of work. I'm going to bring the treads over here, run them, and we'll see how it goes. Well, I screwed up. I was too busy chatting with you guys. This is all nice and warm, but my wrenches were sitting off to the side here. They're still frozen. So much for giving you guys pro tips. I guess I should probably pay more attention and take my own advice. Oh well. You got to pop out these V-groove cutters. They've gotten a lot of use this week. And I'll show you. This is what's going in. And just a simple bull nose. Very straightforward. So I'll get this swapped around. That is a lot of stair treads. Who needs heat? I'm sweating after that. I'm not kidding, I'm about to shed this jacket. It's only 100 feet to the other building, but that's a lot of trips. I know these don't look like a whole lot right now, but I have about 30 glued up panels. They're gonna be 10-inch wide treads. So I'm gonna pre-plane them. I know I'd leave my newspaper on here. I'm not the best at cleaning that off after glue up. It's just gonna get sucked up by the planer and shot out in the shaving shed, and it goes for horse bedding. Figure the horses need something to read too, so the planer will do the work of cleaning that off for me. I'm gonna pre-plane these, rip them to width, and then they're gonna go through the molder. Now, being that I've never done this before with this molding setup, I pulled out a piece of poplar that's the same thickness as those blanks, and I'm gonna run all that first and get everything dialed in, because I spent a lot of time gluing up all these blanks. And I don't want to start goofing them up, because the one problem with the molder, unlike the shaper, you get one shot at it. And if something's not set up right, well, that piece is junk. So I want to dial everything in first, and we'll get these run. So I got everything done, and I started piling it here at the garage door to get it ready to ship. And I thought, well, I cannot cover up that 12-inch wide, 8-foot long tread without showing you guys. There's actually 3 of them, 2 underneath this one, and you can see that's a big chunk of red oak, and that came out beautiful. Really happy with it. The molder did a great job. I kind of figured it would, but you never know until you do it. So those are the long ones, and I got a ton, 27 of these 4-footers. They're only 10 inches wide, and they're all glued up, like I said, but I try to make them as seamless as possible. So they came out fantastic. I'm super thrilled with it. Should make some nice stairs for the customer. I also have the risers that go along with them, but I didn't show you those. They're just square boards, basically, 8-inch wide. Really nice red oak. So that's another project, a new one for me. Never did it that way, but it came out nice. And thanks for sticking around with me on this frigid Friday. If you're near me, you know what we're going through. Hasn't been an easy winter by any means, but you know, you just keep plugging along one day at a time. So if you're north of us, I know you're probably laughing at me. It's not that bad. You're used to it. Well, we're not. And well, hey, if you're down south, from what I understand, you folks down south have been getting hammered too, and you're not prepared for it in any way. So I guess we're fortunate that way that, you know, we can deal with this cold. So you can probably see my breath on the camera. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. Hopefully it will be a little bit warmer by then.